Hello, I'm Casey Aiken, and this is 21 This Week. Coming up next, White House Watch, what to make after a week of tumultuous revelations. Question B, the term limit ballot question, cleared by the court to be on the November ballot. County Executive Isiah Leggett announces his own term limit. And should Montgomery County only own green companies in its investment portfolio? Our panel of insiders will give you the story behind the story. We're joined by the Dean of Democratic Politics, Sam Statland. Former Chairman of the Montgomery County Republican Central Committee, Mark Uncapher. Republican activist Jerry Cave. And consultant and business strategist Rich Parsons. Stay tuned for 21 This Week, next. The leak of a lewd video recorded by Access Hollywood and the allegations by several women that Trump touched them inappropriately has sent the Trump campaign reeling. Drowned out by the din over the Trump bimbo eruptions was information released by WikiLeaks that the Clinton campaign openly mocked Roman Catholics, Southerners, and described the former New Mexican governor, Bill Richardson, as a needy Latino. This hasn't seemed to harm her campaign. And according to Real Clear Politics, the past few weeks have not been kind to Donald Trump. Nonetheless, they see the fundamentals of the race still indicating that the race remains close because support for Hillary Clinton has not surged as much as Trump has lost support since the beginning of the month. Rich, Hillary Clinton jumped on the release last week of an 11-year-old video in which Donald Trump makes graphic sexual comments to say it showed her Republican rivals' demeaning attitude toward women. Trump countered that Clinton was the enabler who allowed her husband, former President Bill Clinton, to sexually assault women for years. Now, who's winning this mud-throwing contest?
Well, in one sense, a lot of people are losing, but one person named Donald Trump is losing a lot more, and Hillary Clinton's actually winning this battle at the moment. And that's largely because what Trump has raised up as defenses keep getting undercut by facts. He keeps saying, oh, Bill Clinton was this horrible person. Well, Bill Clinton's not on the ballot. And he can argue all he wants to that Hillary enabled whatever he is accusing her of, but the facts don't support his case. Meanwhile, woman after woman, victim after victim has come forth this week. There's now a dozen women saying he not only used inappropriate words, he committed acts of sexual assault and predatory sexual behavior. These things cannot be equated with whatever he thinks Bill Clinton, who again is not running, may or may not have done, and which has been thoroughly vetted for years back when he was president. Well, so he is losing, she's winning, and she is soaring in the polls in a lot of the swing states.
Sam, Real Clear Politics suggests that the campaign volatility could swing back in favor of Trump because of this uncertainty. What do you think?
I think this race is over. I think Mr. Trump has dug himself a hole that he can never get out of in a million years. And when the students at Liberty Baptist go against the president of the school, Farwell, and absolutely rip him for still endorsing Trump, it tells you an awful lot. Plus, Warner, leaders of the party, McCain, all those good, really nice, decent Republicans, sorry.
You were right the first time.
Just wait, they'll be Democrats.
Yes, they will. Come on, the guy, it's over.
Mark?
It's over.
Mainstream Republicans, as Sam has been pointing out, have disavowed themselves in their support for Donald Trump. Is that because they're concerned about the loss of the House and the Senate?
I think that they really would prefer just to have this race be separate from McCain's reelection, from the Portman race, the Rubio race, and completely allow these two elections to be on separate lanes, and would just as soon not have to comment on these latest allegations that are coming up. I don't think the Senate is a question, but I think the Republicans are going to still control the House.
Hey, Jerry, there seems to be two different universes of reality out there. There's the Clinton reality and there's the Trump reality. Tell us what the Trump reality is.
I think the reality is we need to praise the Lord for the miracle has happened. They have transmitigated the Democratic Party and the mainstream media, known as the dishonest press corps, to finally have moral outrage. Not at your sexual predator or your sexual intimidator or the vulgarity in the WikiLeaks, but Donald Trump has talked dirty. and then you have
Jerry,
a flock. No, wait a
Jerry.
minute. This is
Jerry.
important.
No.
You have a flock of angels come down, casting out things, and the truth of the matter is they're doing that because Hillary Clinton can't talk about the issues. She can't talk about the fact that she wants to
is
extend the
talking about the
border
issues.
down to Antarctica and wash this country in illegals.
She is
And
the only
this,
one talking about the
You cannot
issues.
talk, and it was in WikiLeaks that the media and the Democratic Party have colluded to demonize Trump like you demonize Romney and you demonize
right,
McCain.
okay.
The
Let's-
American
wait a minute,
people
I wanna- wait,
don't
can we
get a break
want
in
your
here?
issues.
You are so
Jerry,
out of it, it's
Jerry.
unbelievable.
Do you believe-
I'm
I
so out of it.
expected
The
you.
Rasmussen poll has Trump ahead by 2
Oh,
points.
please.
The LA Times poll has him
Please.
even. And the crowds at his events, they have 10,000 people outside listening. That's more
Wait,
people
I-
have seen
look,
Hillary
he's got
Clinton
a
all
hard
year.
I want to go to
30%.
Mark on this to wrap it up, because Mark, you sometimes have the voice of reason for the Republican Party.
Sometimes. I think he's in an extremely challenging position right now. I think the focus really is on the congressional races.
Well, he's done, and any attempts like what you just heard from Jerry to minimize this as dirty talk.
I didn't minimize
are
it at
so
all.
You
know what? I'm going
transparently
to tell you
false.
something.
Come on,
You laughed
Jerry.
at me when I
is
told you
done-
Hogan
no,
would
the-
win.
the
You
point
laughed
is-
when I told you
The
he'd
point
win.
is, this is a fatal blow to the Trump campaign. The only question is, what is the margin of his defeat?
What do
This
you
thing
think
is
the guy
over,
is? What do you think he's
over.
the invisible man?
No,
he
over.
he
He's
drove the
Well,
woman on
gentlemen-
first class on an airplane for thousands of miles
Oh,
across the
come
fruited
on.
plain and nobody saw
You know
it.
what?
Jerry,
This is
Jerry,
absurd.
you're being ridiculous.
It's right out of.
need
It's
to
in
talk-
the
Don't embarrass
WikiLeaks.
yourself.
In the WikiLeaks,
We
he predicted
need
to
to
do
talk
it.
about
Yeah,
issues.
thanks to Putin.
It's a
Yeah,
political race
and
for
you lose.
issues.
Name
You
one
have-
issue.
Come on.
Name one issue
Oh,
Hillary Clinton has.
Let's see. Global warming. Half this county
Putting America
are
back to
immigrants.
work,
Half this
investing in
county are
college
immigrants.
education
We're
They
for
talking
vote
about
kids.
illegal immigrants.
Get
So go
outta
on.
here.
Go on. Give me one part.
Budget.
One
How
message.
How about
Foreign
balancing the
policy?
budget? Her
Oh,
plan's
she's
a lot better
great
than
on
his.
foreign
She is
policy.
good on
She
it.
set the Middle East on
Listen,
fire.
it's
What's
the
next?
people in your party have said that she's the most qualified. Your own people.
No, they haven't.
Yes, they
You
have.
said
and you
foreign
should
policy,
be joining them.
and her-
what
she's
about
terrible
border
on
in
foreign
Virginia, our
policy.
neighbor?
Let those guys go.
You haven't got an issue to
come
stand
on,
on.
man.
She has no accomplishments, no issues.
Well, you know,
All you got
You're
is
going
trash
to
and
ridiculous.
The
tabloids.
great
Let's
thing
hear the
is
question.
that we have 26 days left before the election. And while I agree with you on the sense that the Democratic playbook is to slash and burn, I mean,
Well, it
George.
isn't.
It's in
George-
WikiLeaks.
It isn't.
George
She's
Furman-
going
George
high while
Furman-
he goes
It's
low.
printed
She's
in
talking about issues.
WikiLeaks.
Absolutely.
Had an affair.
She is talking
John
about
McCain
issues.
had an affair.
She hasn't
It's
talked
right-
This
about
that
isn't
stuff
an
is right.
affair.
years.
This is abuse.
She hasn't even
This
had
is
a
not
press
consensual.
conference.
11 years
Casey,
from
this is-
now,
but-
this tape is going to be shown, and you two are going to have to remember how out of touch with the populace.
That's right.
And you
And this
guys
is
are
not
that touch because I told you
consensual
Hogan
stuff
would
that we're
win,
talking
and
about.
I told you that Trump would win the primary.
27 days from now, we can all meet at a bar and find out whether or not this Trump is worth.
And not only
is worth.
Not
worth
only am I
saving
going to
or
be
not.
right, but I'll have had a better hair day
Casey,
then too.
I think there are a lot of Republicans who wish that that tape had come out 12 months ago rather than
Well,
Which
shame
just
on
goes
them.
to
It's
show how
their own
phony all
fault.
this is.
This guy
It's
was
all
never
phony.
vetted.
You
This guy was
can't-
never vetted like he should
Oh
have been
yeah,
in the
he's
primary
been.
process.
He's
He was
only been
never
in
vetted.
television for 30 years.
No,
in business
none of the
for
Republican
35.
candidates had
Republicans ran
the
against
spine
it,
to dig
16
into him.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing.
They didn't do their
Absolutely
Your
basic job
person
as a
has no
candidate.
issues, no
And when
accomplishments.
you talk about media, he's the media
He's the
expert,
only
not
guy that's
Hillary
going to
Clinton.
create
Come
jobs,
on.
jobs for minorities, for working class and millennials.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Oh yeah, name one job that Hillary.
and
Name
I
one
believe in the Easter
accomplishment,
Bunny,
one
too.
job she's created.
Oh,
Except for people over at the FBI to investigate her.
your own conservative
Don't
budget
tell me your
groups,
nameless
your
stuff.
own conservative
I asked
budget
you a
groups say
question about an
his
accomplishment,
budget
you
plan-
can't do it.
I'm answering your question. His own budget proposal will blow such a huge hole in the deficit
Yeah, I'm
that even
asking her
conservative
accomplishment,
groups
you
say
can't do
he
it.
would
Reset
cost us
with-
jobs.
how about the
She has
reset
put
with
forward a
Putin?
plan that's much better at getting our economy
that
going.
works?
You know, if
She
you
has-
know what,
the Russians
she has
if you have, if
accomplishments
you're such a moral
you can't even
superiority,
relate to.
are you going to disavow the
I am-
anti-Latino,
you know what, Jerry?
the
You know what, Jerry?
anti-Catholic, the
Jerry,
disgusting
stop,
things you're
stop
people
talking
I
over
wanna-
me.
I wanna-
Stop
I
talking
wanna
over
ask a
me.
question.
You want me to?
Mark.
Yes.
I want to move this on.
No, I'm not
Mark-
going to sit here.
Mark-
Let him take all the time.
How divisive is this going to be? You can see just here on the set how divisive this is amongst us.
Right.
So how divisive is this going to be to the Republican Party? And can the Republican Party survive
Oh,
and
absolutely.
move forward?
Absolutely. I mean, the party has been stronger. It includes a lot of diverse elements in the party. There are folks who represent the the Trump wing, anti-global wing, they're pro-global. I mean, there's a whole range of views. When you look at the numbers nationwide, whether it's governors, whether it's people in the House, whether it's in state legislatures, the Republican Party has never been stronger. It includes lots of different components to it.
Well,
as a national party, it has been shattered.
It'll be interesting.
Oh, you're going to talk about being shattered when this is over.
It'll be interesting to see what happens after the election. We're not going to have time to talk about one of our subjects when we come back from this short break. We'll figure out the most important ones, and we'll present them to you. And welcome back. The final challenge to whether a term limit proposal authored by Robin Ficker would appear on the November ballot was decided when the Maryland Court of Appeals, the state's highest court, declined to hear the case. Question B proposal would amend the county charter and would limit the county executive and the county council to 3 consecutive terms in office. That means Roger Berliner, Mark Elrich, George Leventhal, and County Council President Nancy Florine would not be able to seek re-election in 2018. Sam, what do you think of this proposal? And is it going to pass this time?
I do believe that this is going to pass. This will definitely pass. Because just as we were arguing here about how upset we are with our parties and policy, that same thing is true here in the county. The populace of this county are very upset about how government is administrated. They're upset about taxes. They're upset about all of the education, the school system, how things are being run. And they view this as a way to limit how much a politician, professional politician, can influence the county. And I, in my opinion, think it would be better for everyone if it does pass.
Rich, the county council also has placed a question on the ballot, question C, which redefines what a partial term in office is. Now, some have called this the Nancy Navarro exemption. Why did the council do it, and will it pass?
I think it will pass, but I also agree with Sam. I think the term limit referendum is also going to pass, and I think that's good for opening up the system and bringing some new blood into county government, which I think we need. But I think there's also a recognition that it ought to be limited to full terms, and that's what this second question is about. Nancy Navarro was appointed for a partial term, and she's going to be caught up in the very strict definition in the term limit amendment. So this is a proposal that was put forward by the council and put on the ballot to clarify that it means 3 full terms is the maximum. That would allow Ms. Navarro, who I think does have something good to bring to the council, allow her to stay for 1 more term. But I think overall, Sam's right. I think both of these are going to pass.
I think that was almost a tacit admission putting the Navarro amendment on, it was so overwhelmingly popular. And it's interesting that it's not a particularly strenuous opposition being waged against it.
And the best part of it is, although the smallest, which I should bring up, being small and petty, is that those people are now going to have to go out and get real jobs.
Not necessarily. They can always run for other offices, Jerry.
And they are.
And they are.
Yeah.
There's 3 of them will run for county executive if they have their opportunity.
Maybe
what I think this is a great first step. But I also think what also needs to be done, I think they need to do away with the at-large seats.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
That's another way to keep more Democrats
It's been a disaster
on there.
in Prince George's County. All you
If
get
they
is
cut
log
it up-
rolling. That is the worst thing for good government.
We've been
The
there
worst.
before, guys.
The gerrymandering that goes on that prevents
They're
a
proud-
single
no.
Republican
Casey,
to
they're
be
proud of the
elected under
gerrymandering.
county
That is not
council.
true. There's only 5
No, we're
council
not.
mandated districts. The gerrymandering is in effect because there isn't much difference in the distribution of Republicans the way these districts are drawn.
Rich,
Compared to any way you could draw them.
How
You
else-
couldn't draw a
I think-
Republican district because
the
there's not a
original
concentration of Republicans anywhere in the county.
Rich,
They're spread throughout.
True.
Rich, how else would Tacoma Park get 4 members on the council?
That's a problem, but it's not because of gerrymandering. That's
It's because of the at-large.
better people didn't run.
It's because of the at-large. It's because
not
of the
because of the
at-large.
at-large.
You know,
Oh, yes,
we
because
did
of the
have a
at-large.
situation. Years ago, we had district representation. And the thought then is that on larger issues that were not regional and in district were being neglected. And that you couldn't get
even
proper
more
legislation.
You know, this is just all
even more
malarkey by
parochialism.
people.
It'd be
The
horrible.
gerrymander
It's
thing's
very
horrible.
well.
You've got You've got every
gerrymandering
seat.
in it.
You've got every seat in the county, and you know what? That's not enough.
Well, it's
you
not
want
our
more
fault
than
that-
100%.
It's not our
need
fault.
Oh, it
to
is
happen.
not. We got
You guys
35,
can't recruit.
40%.
We're gonna
and
ask,
we can't
we're
get
gonna
some
ask the next
gerrymandering.
question.
office.
We're going to ask the next question.
Go on to the next question.
Which is about Ike Leggett. County Executive Ike Leggett, the son of a sawmill laborer who rose from Jim Crow's South to become a Howard University law professor, chairman of the Maryland Democratic Party, said Tuesday he will not seek a fourth term. Sam, how's this going to change Montgomery County politics?
Big time, because after the term limit passes, you're going to have 4 people running for executive. Then you're going to have a lot of people running for the county council seats. That can filter down to other elections. You'll get a nice turnover, and you'll have fresh people just involved in the county, which I think is absolutely terrific.
Mark, we just heard in the last segment about the frustration that people are feeling. Republicans obviously feel that they have no representation. Is this going to change anything with the county council and the county executive turning over?
I think there'll be a lot of opportunities. I think some of the opportunities will be, frankly, in state legislatures. Part of the whole mix will be you have salary envy on the part of a number of the legislators who get about 1/3 or half what the county council member has have given them. So there's going to be a lot of interest in those seats for county council. I will say that we have had excellent candidates, or excellent candidate for county executive, because we had Jim Shalleck running. And
I agree with you
I
on
hope
that.
Jim runs again.
But
It's not a question about the quality of the candidate. It's a question about whether or not it's possible for a Republican to get elected in a countywide election where the registration is so disparate between the Democrats and Republicans.
But
Hogan
Casey,
got elected.
you've missed the biggest part of this whole story about Ike Leggett.
Of course I did.
And that is that the bench for the Democratic Party, when Hillary loses to run for president, they are going to have to go so far down the bench that they told Ike Leggett, we need you to be available to run for president in 4 years. That was the whole reason.
Outta
Jerry,
here.
And I don't know why I got to give the Democratic news first. I would think these guys would be
Okay,
on top of
moving
it.
on.
I love hearing your conspiracy.
Moving right along.
Well,
conspiracy
you know what? If I'm wrong, name the bench
Well, wait a minute.
for president
We're not
in the
talking
Democratic
about-
Party.
We don't have to
Jerry,
worry about it for
we're
8
talking-
years.
we're talking
Yeah, we
about
have 8 years to develop a
We're
bench.
talking about county executive right now.
Yeah.
And the important question is whether or not this is going to have a seismic shift. And it's going to have a huge shift because Ike has been a focus of county politics, not just for the past 16 years, but for much longer than that.
Well, a cool, level-headed guy that took into consideration all of the citizens of the county and tried his hardest to pass legislation that was good for the populace. I like Ike.
And we got a 13% property raise, so that should make you Democrats very happy.
Well, I think there's a lot of people lining up to run for this opening at county executive, not just the people in the council, and nor do I think they're necessarily even the strongest candidates. You're going to have some non-council members running that I think will be a real force, so stay tuned. There's probably news coming
It's a
in next week.
political
Slate being
consultant's
formed.
dream.
Yes, yes.
Well, the real question is, will there anything change?
Well, there's some things that need to change. The dissatisfaction that Jerry and others mentioned is real. The county has, I think, some real pushback against the tax increases that this council and this executive have approved over the last 8 years. There is serious dissatisfaction with direction on transportation. There's a feeling after the 2002 elections, the council did a really great job, I think, of pushing forward some major projects. There's a broad sense that they've kind of lost their way in recent years, and the county needs to get again, another dose of voter motivation to actually pursue the voters' #1 issue, which is traffic congestion, not schools, not budget, it's traffic. And we've kind of stagnated on our efforts there.
Rich
And the economy is softened.
Rich
Now that we have- now that we
articulates
have-
so well
now that we have-
that I would like him representing me in elected office.
Now that we have
Thank you, Sam.
You're welcome.
a modicum of decorum right now, we're going to take a break and come back with parting shots. Welcome back. Now with parting shots, Rich Parsons.
Well, I had the great opportunity this week to participate in a regional business forum organized by the Board of Trade that had the governor of Virginia, Terry McAuliffe, the mayor of D.C., and our governor, Larry Hogan, all on the same stage talking about the future of this region and what they were doing in each of their states and across the region to attract new jobs and invest in this community. I have to say I was encouraged to see 3 regional leaders actually talking to each other, working together to lure companies from overseas to come here and invest. But I have to say, when you look across the river at our neighbors in Virginia and what the initiatives that Terry McAuliffe has put forward on revolutionizing the way they do high school education so that's really fitting with the 21st century economy, massive investments in transportation infrastructure that we are not even coming close to meeting. Maryland, the message here is my parting shot is we got to get moving.
Thank you, Rich. Sam Statland, welcome back. Haven't seen you in a while. Your parting shot.
Oh, alas, oh, alas. Nationals, we still support you, and there's always next year, and I know you'll try harder.
Thank you, Sam. Mark Uncapher, your parting shot.
This week, Governor Hogan appointed Sam Statland from Montgomery County as his chief of staff. He'd previously been head of the Social Services Administration, and before that had been a Republican activist here in the county, but had also been the head of a large high-tech contracting company, actually based in Virginia, but he lived here in Potomac. Sam Statland is a great star. It's a great choice by the governor to put him in a more elevated position.
Thank you, Mark. Jerry Cave, your parting shot.
I regret to say that WikiLeaks has proven that everything I have said on this show for the last 5 years is true, and that the Democratic Party and the media is racist, sexist, and dishonest. And they have called blacks and Muslims consistently unproductive people in any circumstance, and it's horrible. Hillary Clinton is going to extend our border down to Antarctica and flood the country with job diminishing and wage diminishing opportunities, and Donald Trump recognizes that we have the military, political, and economic leverage to create new trade and treaties and trade agreements to create more jobs, which will help working class, women, millennials, and minorities in this country. Go Trump.
Thank you, Jerry. Now, earlier this week, I had the opportunity, along with Susan Heltmus, my co-host here on 21 This Week, to sit down and have a chat with Congressman Chris Van Hollen, who's running for the United States Senate. And we also sat down with congressional candidate Ami Hober, who's running for the 6th District. Now, both of those interviews will be shown in the weeks ahead on a continuing kind of a rolling basis between now and November 8th. So I encourage all of the viewers to take an opportunity to take a look at them. We tried to get other candidates to come and sit down with us, but their schedules and our schedules just wouldn't mesh with one another. So I want to encourage everybody. Now I want to talk to the cast tonight. We had a lively debate. We had an angry debate. And it's part of the anger that this country is facing right now, and the frustration and disappointment that many of us feel about the selections we have to make in the next coming years. Hillary Clinton is never going to be my choice for president, but Donald Trump really is not my choice for president either. These are very tough times, and I think it just shows the dissatisfaction that the country has towards these candidates. So we're going to have 3 more weeks of 21 This Week. We're going to have 3 more weeks of lively debate, and you, the audience, get to tune in and enjoy the fighting and the fractious nature that we have on this show. For 21 This Week, I'm Casey Aiken. Thank the panel for being here, and I thank you for tuning in each and every week to Montgomery County's hardest hitting political talk show.